I just posted that we got a nice little scalp trading on gold, and I'm gonna show you guys the setup on GCAD, but do not take it. Do not take it. All right, let me make this. All right, we are good to go. And let me go back to sharing my screen. And then we got a lot to cover today, you guys. In a short amount of time, I'm gonna hit it and quit it. All right. Here we go. And here we are. All right, if you guys can see me, hear me, and see my screen, type a number 3 in the box. All right, great morning. Good. Okay. Let me see if I can do this here. Oh boy. Shouldn't have did that. Oh, oh, okay, I see. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let's bring this on screen and I'm gonna show you why, and then we'll get started. Facebook. Let me show you this. It seems like not much happened today. Let me pull this on screen so you guys can see it. And now I will go back to here, show meeting, and there we go. All right, so here we go. Let's go to home. Let's go to economic calendar, and let's pull up what just happened today. So right here, you had the CPI numbers and the inflation report. And as I was teaching you guys, those who had an ear to hear, now that the election is over, hopefully your emotions have calmed itself down, and you've done exactly what I said was going to happen after all the hoopla of who's going to be president, who ain't. You personally still had to go to your job, and some of you guys are probably at work or whatever, which is why we have a lot of people, hundreds of people who watch my replay class on YouTube because they're at work, and which means exactly what I was saying the whole time. Have your opinions, but don't lose your mind over an election, because at the end of the day, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you still have to go to work. And what's happening to all those politicians who are shaking hands and kissing babies in your neighborhood? They're not there. Okay, but that's a different story. The point is this is where, if you're ever going to really get into trying to figure out who's the best candidate for an election, this for you and I is one of the most important bits of information that we need, because this is called the CPI report, or inflation numbers. And what this basically means is, because you are president, am I paying more for my gas, groceries, rent, and everything else, or am I paying less? So basically, just like your kids got report cards, they bring it home to show their quarterly reports to show how well your child is doing or not doing. This is the presidential's quarterly report or monthly report that comes out. And this is where you can see whether they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Because at the end of the day, their decisions will cost you. And this is where it really hits the people in the pocket. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Type a 10 in the box if you understand what I'm saying. This is what's important. And good morning, YouTube family. Michael, Jerome, Andrew, Jay, Sid, and anybody else who's coming in later, welcome, welcome, welcome. So just a heads up, you guys, this is an important report, because this directly impacts you. So they can get on stage, talk all this big speech and all these good things, but at the end of the day, since you and I trade in the markets, we can go right here and do a back test, and everybody say, hey, I want to back test your strategy. Well, back test your candidates and go right here to these CPI reports and just pull up a 12-month period and say, okay, let's take a look at how well they've been doing. Because at the end of the day, if these numbers are ugly for 12 months, why I keep voting you in for another 3 or 4 years? Because every time you make choices, you costing me money. Does that make sense to everybody? Type a yes if that makes sense. Okay. So a lot of business people and a lot of businesses, and I'm being honest with you, they don't vote the way the people on the streets vote. In fact, I had a brother, and we was having conversation over the Thanksgiving holiday over this matter. And my sister-in-law, I didn't. We have a group text, a family group text. I'm a very part of a very large family, and I have a group text. Unfortunately, I didn't read the text part about my brother, my oldest brother. Don't go to his house speaking politics, and that's my, one of my brothers, and something came up, and it just trickled into it. I didn't plan on talking about it. It trickled into it, and then, oh my God, it turned into a big old explosion. He just, oh, rah, 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 right. And, but I learned that people's opinions are their opinions. So I honored his opinion, and I came in a different approach than what he thought, and I was giving him data. If you guys, can I give you guys just 3 minutes? Can you guys give me 3 minutes of your time just to explain something real quick? And then we'll pray in and go to the charts. Is that okay? Because I want you guys to see things differently. Because you trade in the markets, you have direct access to information that the general public does not have. So when they're voting based on what they're hearing on TV, and they're voting based on what their politicians from their gang, because that's what it actually is, the red and the blue, Crips and Bloods. I grew up during the era with the Crips and the Bloods when they was really, really the strong gang. I know we had the Venezuela gangs and this and that, which is way more treacherous today, and they're more impactful. But back in the day, it was the Crips and the Bloods, which you still hear about, the Reds and the Blue. And as I mentioned to you guys before, basically what it means is that the Crips and the Bloods, they just moved it into the White House, and they got you choosing sides. Which gang you gonna be a part of? You gonna be part of this Crips, or you gonna be part of the Bloods? Same exact color. Crips were blue, Bloods were red. Republicans are red, Democrats are blue. So you got to choose your side. And so they come on TV, they come on all these stations and do all this stuff and yak, and you sitting up there choosing sides. But for the smart person who actually have access to the markets, even if you're not the best trader yet, it's not a problem. It doesn't matter. The point is you now look at different information that is not on the talking heads, meaning, and that's when I used to trade in the stock market, I used to call them the talking heads. They'll say one thing and then you go off of their word and the stock market does something completely different. They just cack and they get paid to talk. They get paid millions of dollars just to talk. So the point is that for us, we don't have to listen to the talking heads. I go like this. I heard what you said, but let me do a back test on the data, because the back test is your report card. And basically I can take a clear look and see whether what you said matches up to what you've been doing, because we have quote unquote historical data. Okay. It's the same thing like if you went to the charts and you're trying to back test an indicator. You can back test your politicians. This is what you need to know. Your rent, your gas, everything about your life went up over the last several years. You could have easily have followed that report right here. So when a person gets on stage saying, oh, we doing this and we doing that, okay, that sounds real good, but all I have to do is go right here and check your report card. That's no different from your child coming on saying, Mama, I made straight A's over the last 3 months. But then you get the report card from the teacher, and the teacher say your child got D's. Do you see what I'm saying? Type of 45, if that makes sense to you guys. Hey, Ernest, how are you? Type of 45, if this is making sense to you guys. And this will restrict you from being a Republican or Democratic fool, because they're making you look stupid. And I was explaining this to my brother. I said, but you need to look at this information, because what they're telling you isn't always the truth. Because what they're trying to do is get you to vote for them to get them a job. That's what they're trying to do. Okay? And they need you to get the job. Once they get the job, they're not coming back to your neighborhood to see you anyway. So why are you going head over heels over a person who they just gonna come, shake as many hands as they can to get you to vote for them, and then after that, you don't hear from them for another 4 years, 3.5 years, but then they got to go back on the campaign trail. And then you'll see them back in your neighborhood. Every 3.5 years, you'll see a group of either the Crips or the Bloods coming to your neighborhood saying, hey, come vote for me. And then they're gone. And now you're still stuck at your job, and this is what you personally have to deal with. Higher cost on gas, food, groceries, rent, everything about your electric bill, water bill, everything goes up based on that person's decisions. So when I look at this, I simply ask myself, if I'm going to vote for a person, how is your decision-making abilities have been impacting me and my family directly? And I'm not listening to what you say on stage. I'm looking at your presidential report card. Type amen if that was a bit helpful. This will help you to stop being into politics and being into making business decisions. So when you see decisions being made by business owners, entrepreneurs, which is what you guys, and let me say this to you guys, just being very plain and honest. A lot of you guys are constantly complaining about successful people while trying to become one. So if you're going to complain about the people who actually made it over, instead of studying what they do to get there, then why are you striving so hard to become successful and an entrepreneur? Because you're trying to become one of them. Meanwhile, on your journey to coming up to become one of them, you're the very person who's talking about them. So then what should we do if you become successful? That makes sense to everybody? This is why I don't put my mouth on other people, because I'm not here for that. Even when I was coming up the ranks trying to learn how to trade, hey, I bumped into a bunch of scammer people just like the rest of everybody. I never put my mouth on them. I never blasted them. Sometimes I wanted to, but I just respectfully just said, you know what, this is not the place for me, and let me keep my journey moving. I didn't waste my time trying to chase people and trying to It was not my place. God will handle that. I'm not here for that. God didn't put me here to learn how to chase people and be upset and that. No, I'm too busy trying to chase my own success and financial freedom for my own family. And it's too much energy being drained chasing people who ain't got good intentions. So let God deal with that. That's his business. Me, I need to get information. And part of that is, let me see if I'm going to vote, this is what I need to be looking at. Because I need to see whether what you say on stage matches to what you do, which is the word integrity. What you say, what you do, and what you think all line up. You keep saying stuff on TV, but every time I keep looking at your report card, it's a lie. So that means I don't want another 4 years with this. That makes sense to everybody? And that's not based on politics, that's based on data. So I'm teaching you guys how business people and entrepreneurs, which is what you guys are trying to become, how you should be looking at information moving forward so that you're not duped and scammed into voting for people who have no good intentions for you. Okay? Type of 100 if that made sense to you guys. I am not into politics. I don't need to be. I just look at this and say, okay, looking at that, I'll vote one way or the other. You can call me an independent or this and that. They give all these titles, but it's just, hey, when I get truth, I don't need to vote for a lie. That's what it basically means. When I'm getting truth, I don't need to vote for a lie. Because you're lying. Now, that works for everybody else who don't have a clue what's going on behind the scenes, even though they're complaining about higher costs, but they don't understand what's going on. But you guys up in here, this is what this is. So pay attention to it. Okay? Including with the new income coming president, because this is going to affect you one way or the other. Okay. All right. Enough of that. All right. Now let's get to this, and then I'll pray in. We're looking at the CAD. Oops, I shouldn't have. Oh, geez. Oh, good. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. This setup right here is normally one that I'll be like, this is not a bad setup. Got your arrow, got your double top coming in, and all the pretty stuff, that we normally look for. Okay, not bad at all. See that? Double top, Judah wop wop, double top top. A lot of people are gonna go for this, and it may work. Look at that. Very, very beautiful setup. Oh, I love this. One reason I won't touch it yet. See? Again, this is what separates you guys from everybody else. You know to check the news first before you take trades. In fact, that's why I do Sunday videos. I took a little break because I was traveling, but I put it out, and I told you guys in advance about this, and guess who's coming next? CAD interest rates. So therefore, should you take this trade? Type a yes or no, and I'm looking. I'm looking in the chat as well in YouTube. I'm looking for y'all's comment. Should I take a trade? Yes or no? No, of course not. No. Now, unless you're experienced and don't mind using small lot sizes. Now, if you don't mind taking a small lot size, then do your thing. But, that's all good. No problem. But most people are trying to, which, by the way, I want to bring this up as well in a moment. But most of you guys are trying to pass prop firm challenges and all these different things. So the safest thing to do is actually to not trade unless you're using a very, 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 very small lot size. For an example, and I'll just take one here. Let's do this. So you got a 25K account. You just want to play with it. 0.2 on that lot size. Slide to the up. There you go. It's about 40 pips or so. And then, okay, whatever happens, you ain't tripping. Why? Because you use 0.02. Something very little. If I lose this trade, I'm only losing $6. $6. So if you want to do that, that's fine. But the better way of going about it is actually just to wait until it's over. Okay, if you're not experienced, just wait. Okay. All right. Let's pray again. And Donna, are you there? I just want to make sure we got Donna. She might be on mute.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I just want to say hi. No big deal. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, you guys, let's pray in and then let's get to some stuff. We got a lot to cover today in a short amount of time, and then I'm going to get out of here. Father, thank you for letting us get here to this point in our lives. Thank you for giving us another day. And Lord, thank you for all that you have done for us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, you guys. So we did cover CAD news. I do want to let you guys know a couple of things. Number one, the holiday special for the $99 for the Simplicity system and the Ocean Wave is still banging. Also, I didn't put on the ad, but the Simplicity scanner, use the word scanner, and it will give you 50% off the Simplicity scanner as well. Then also Blue Guardian sent an email for those who's looking to trade prop firms. Blue Guardian sent an email out this morning. And I would have to stop sharing. Give me a second. Let me stop sharing my screen and let me pull this up. Some of y'all so nosy. Want to see everything. Let me see his email. Let me see his email. What do you got? What do you got? All right, hold on one second. I'll give you their discount code. They sent it out this morning. And they're doing a 40% off, I think it is. Yeah, 40% off. Oh, but that's not, disregard what I said. I'm sorry. That's for futures trading. Futures trading. So disregard that. I apologize. Wrong. I thought it was for that, but it's not. Okay. So never mind. Never mind. You know, any information I get, I'll be trying to share with y'all, but that's not for here. All right, cool. And what else? Now, here's something I suggest you guys do. I saw this on the internet, and I was like, man, that is so cute. But I didn't really realize how big this thing was. So this right here is a mouse pad, and this thing is not your normal mouse pad. Look, it looked like a little waist trainer. You know what I mean? This thing is big, but this is actually a mouse pad, and I think it was $20 or something like that. I forgot how much it was. Give me a second. But what it has on here, and I suggest everybody get it. I really like it. I really do like it. So if you're looking at candle patterns, chart patterns, and reversal patterns and continuation patterns, it has it all on this huge mouse pad that spreads across your desk, and you can always just glance down and look at it. And I ordered it right off of Amazon. Let me take a look right here. I really think, this is a great gift for yourself, or if you have a family member who likes to trade and this and that. Let me tell you how much it was. It was only $15, $14.99. It was $14.99. This thing is big though, you guys. And let me do this. Let me share it, and then I'll put it into the group here. Give me a second. All right, I'll copy the link. And let me do this here. Let me put it in Telly. Give me 1 second. I'll share this. I really suggest everybody get it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, man, this is hot. This is really, really helpful. Give me a second. You just glance right down. All right, there we go. So if you're in the notification in Telegram, okay, I'll just put the link in there. Okay. And let me bounce this around. Give me a second. And then I'll post it in this chat. Okay, I'll post it. Just give me a second. In fact, let me do something even better. Let me stop sharing. I'll do something even better for you guys. Give me a second. Thank you for your patience, by the way. Okay, let me lower this down, and I'm gonna put it on screen so everybody. I really, really strongly suggest everybody get. I think it's. I was surprised. I was just, sometimes you get bored and you just buy stuff, and then every once in a while you're gonna buy something that's actually worth buying. And for $15, man, this was a steal. All right, you guys. So as you can see right here, this is a mouse pad, and it's actually big. Okay, it is literally like a little waist trainer kind of thing, but it is very, very helpful. So got all your candlestick patterns, your reversal continuation patterns, head and shoulders patterns. So if you're ever looking at your charts and you're like, okay, I don't know what this shape means, then this is the thing for you. Look at how big this thing is. And again, it's right on Amazon. I don't get nothing for it, but I just think since you guys are trading, this will be an excellent thing. And as you can see, it's only 15 bucks. Okay, $15. So I'm strongly suggesting to everyone that you grab this because it's going to be very, very helpful. In fact, I was looking at a chart pattern this morning and I was like, wait a minute, let me look down. And sure enough, there it was. And there we go. Okay, there it is. Okay. So like I said, I'm always trying to give you guys helpful information because, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, it's sharing. Okay, cool. Woo, just wanted to make sure. All right. All right. So if that was helpful, let me know. And let me click on some pictures. I strongly suggest. Okay. And again, no, I don't get paid for this. All right. Yeah, that's one picture. Let me see. I'm trying to show you the picture so I can see it bigger. All right, there you go. So that's what it actually looks like. And so you got all your patterns, and it doesn't matter whether you trade stocks or whatever, but you got your chart patterns here and so forth and so forth. Okay. So this is going to be very, very helpful for some of you guys. So when you're looking at breakout patterns, head and shoulder patterns, and you still don't understand that, or candlestick patterns, and they tell you, hey, this one, if you see this, this is going to continue to the downside or to the upside. And so you'll understand that. So for an example, one of the things that I like to trade is slant patterns, because I tell you guys, slant patterns always pop up. Guess why I call this slant patterns? Because I forgot the name of it. Okay. But now that I had a pad here with the names on it, I can call it what it is. So for an example, this one right here is one of those descending channels. See, I forgot the name. The bullish flag. And see, I've never understood the difference between these two, which is why I'll just say, hey, it's a slant pattern. Now you'll understand why your uncle started making nicknames. Okay. Because these are the patterns right here. Okay. So here's a slant pattern, slants down and pops up, slants down, pop up. But then they say, oh, this one is a descending channel. This one is a bullish flag and all this. I'm like, man, I don't understand all that. Forget all that, bro. Here's another bullish wedge. See, bearish wedge. So now you can actually sound professional because you actually have it. Okay. But basically, you can see that, hey, if this thing is coming, oh, let me reduce that. If this thing is coming from the upside, then it slants down and pops up. Okay. That's the point. This one coming down, slants upward, pop down. So now I understand what I've been telling you guys about is called the bearish wedge or the bullish wedge, which is one of my favorites because I already know this thing is going to go down. The only problem is how far down is it going to go? We don't know, but we do know one thing. When it creates that slant pattern, that thing going to pop up. And now guess what, guys? It'll be right here in front of you. So that's why I said I think this is going to be helpful for many of you guys. And you now understand why your uncle started making up his own nicknames, because all these different names, it was, I don't know what you mean, bro. But I do know what the pattern is going to be, and I know what it's going to do. But all these names, bro, that's too much. I don't understand all that. Okay. So grab it, do yourself a favor, 15 bucks. Okay. Dang, they should be paying me. I sound like a salesperson for them, huh? All right. If that was helpful, type a 20 in the box. I want to make sure I'm always trying to be helpful to you guys. And I've been trading for a long time. And the moment I got mine, so I was like, man, this is very, very helpful even to me. As soon as I got it, this is basically, and let me tell y'all something. A lot of you guys, you want a lot of money, this and that. Truth be told, there's very few things after you done bought, if you done bought, have a decent car, you got a roof over your head and this and that, there's really not much more you're going to be able to do with money. I don't care. You can look at your celebrities. I was looking at a couple of celebrity homes and Shamar Moore, from SWAT and this and that. He did a tour of his house. He got this car. He has the Phantom Rolls Royce. He has a decent house, but that was it. That's all you can get in this world. You can get a fancier car, fancier house, fancier food, and fancier clothes. That's pretty much all that this world offers. So, you know, but to buy something and invest into your mind, that's a real investment. Okay. So that's why I don't do a lot of shopping no more. I didn't have all this stuff. And I had the 7,000 square foot house with a custom shoe room with 300 pairs of shoes, my belt wall, and my closet was like the size of some people's, bathroom or whatever. Well, not bathroom, but whatever. It was like 25 feet or 30 feet long, my closet alone. And I have built it with a U-shaped closet. So you go into this closet this way. My wife goes into her closet this way. She goes down her corridor on her side. Mine's curved on this side. And the closet was built to wrap around the entire bathroom. Okay. And so I had a pillar bedroom, bathroom, bathtub, jacuzzi tub in the center of the floor with a flat screen on the wall, fit for 2 or 3 people who can fit into it. It was like a jacuzzi tub in the center of the floor with pillars. You walk up the steps and get into the pillar. I customized. I did all that. And truth be told, now that my kids are gone and everything's over, it's just me and Nancy. Don't chase all that. Buy small things that's going to invest into your head. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next thing. So what we can do, let me see. We have how much more time? Somebody look and see how much more time do we have before the CAD is coming out? And then let's go ahead and go through some charts and then I'll take questions. Towards the end, if you guys have any questions, I told you guys, if you want to, I can go over these tariffs that's about to happen. For those who don't understand that, if you want me to talk about that, I can do that as well towards the end. So we got about 17 minutes before the CAD interest rate news is going to play out. So let's just leave this trade right here and see how it plays out. Okay, because if it wasn't for the news, this would actually be a perfect reversal setup. It is midweek and I love it. So look at this from the 1 hour. What if you would have took this bad boy? Ooh, even just to that, man, that's nice. Okay, simplicity is still nice. It's still a banger. But use it during midweek reversals. That's the best time to use it. Okay. All right. Let's go through it. Let's do it like this. If you guys have trade questions or chart questions, let me know. If not, then let me know if you just want me to go through some pairs, because I'd rather just talk to you guys and see what you need. Any questions? Yes. Yes, SJ. So true. Only need joy, peace, good health, and Jesus. Yeah. All right. Swiss JPY. Sure, I'll go over that. That's why my relationship with Nancy is so important, because guess what? At the end of the day, it's me and her all the time. All the time. It's just me and her. And so I got to be with somebody who's going to bring peace. I don't do all that arguing and fussing and cussing and, oh, no. No. Sorry, not going to happen. All right. Rainbow Bright. Slant pattern right here. This person, I don't see anything worth trading on this one here. You see it created that slant pattern. This is exactly what I was telling you guys. Slant patterns always pop up. It's just a matter of when it's going to do it, but it will do it. Look at that. Bing, and popped up. This is why I'm very leery when some of you guys, let me help you with something real quick. The one thing I will not do, me personally, when I see that a trade has went in, and even if you give me the arrow and it's a slant pattern, and I'll show you this one did work. We see the evidence dot. Did it give us some pips from where the arrow came in? It sure did, but I would never hold on to it. That was nice 46 pips though, but I wouldn't hold on to it. Here's the reason why. What do we see right here? Slant pattern. Right there. There you go. Okay, and what happened next after that wedge pattern? Oh, I'm sorry. I can talk like a professional now. Let me see. And y'all think I'm playing, but I actually don't know the name of it. I just know what it looks like, and I know what it's going to do. So that one is going upwards. but the angle is tilting down. That's called a bullish wedge. Ooh, look at me, I'm graduating. Praise God, that's good stuff. Bullish wedge. Why? Because it was bullish. The market overall is bullish, but then it comes down, create this wedge, and once it breaks out of this wedge, it's going to do what? Pop up. God is good. Y'all be thinking I'm playing. I ain't playing. I really don't know the names of this stuff. Okay. So here we go. You got your bullish wedge, drops and pops, drops, pops. So anytime I see a trade and it's already ran, this is why I just don't get into some of those trades if I see that it ran already, because I already know what the next thing is going to be. And let me pull this one over here. Same thing here. All you have to understand is what is the direction of the trend. Okay. Once you understand the direction of the trend, these are nothing more but pullbacks and boom, pullback, boom, pullback, boom, 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 boom. And it's kind of like the deeper the pullback, the equivalent is going to bounce right back up in the same direction to feel that. And maybe that's what I've never studied it. Maybe that's what they call fair market gaps or whatever. They got all these different new names. I don't get into it. I just know a slant pattern. This is why I use these simple terms, because all these different names is just confusing trying to remember all this stuff. But all I do know for certain is if I see a slant pattern, that thing is going to pop up. And the deeper the slant, the more bigger the pop up is going to be. Okay, that's what I do know. It's been doing that and it's going to keep doing that. Here's a small one right here. Okay, there you go. What happened next? Popped up. Hits a port. See that support? Slanted to the support, popped up. This one slanted to the support line, popped up. Y'all see what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Somebody said take a look at CAD. Let's take a look at CAD for buy. No, I don't like it. Nothing about it. No, I don't touch that. Nope. I don't see anything I like about it. And you got CAD news coming up. That's the whole point. That's why we're doing this practice trade on GCAD. But we got CAD news coming up in 13 minutes. So we'll see how this thing fire off. But realistically, as far as what I see right now, nothing. I don't see anything. Now, right here was beautiful. That was gorgeous. That was a nice move. See, and it just went right on up. Follow the 30-minute arrow. That was nice. Very nice right there from the bottom. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Okay, you can see that right there. Let me move this blue line down a little bit more below that arrow. And then come out here. Where'd you go? Oh, I'm sorry, I set you literally right there. So let me put you a little bit lower so you guys can see it. So you can see there was support right here from the daily. Go to the 4-hour. And where do we see it? Okay, that was right here. 1 hour. Pull that thing up, and we can move our line up now since I'm out of the daily. But you see right here, this is where it came in, even if you got in late on the 1 hour, but the 30-minute arrow is more neutral to me. And you can literally see this was an excellent spot for that thing, and that thing went up from there. So yeah, this would have been nice to get in on this one. Even if you get out right now, you still walk away with 103 pips. That's nice. But as for right now, you're just chasing the wind. Don't touch it. There's nothing about it. There's no arrows. There's nothing. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And it was just a little pinprick on the CAD during the inflation news, so nothing big. I'm actually glad you guys are asking questions, and this is what I always wish we were doing in the first place, spending time asking questions on chart setters, because this helps me to understand what you guys are seeing so that I can help, kind of like optometrists, and I used to talk about this all the time, the optometrists, their job is to, make sure that your focus is 2020. And if you're pulling up things that doesn't have any relevance, that's actually good to keep asking, because then it help you to know, okay, if I was Uncle P, would I actually even be spending time looking at this trade? The answer is no. And that's good, because you don't want to waste your time on setups that just ain't it. It's just not it. It's not, it's just like dating. You're not a bad person. You're just not it. You're just not what I'm looking for. At least not right now. And look at this. Here we go. See? descending wedge or whatever, and then it pops out. Yeah. So you're just not what I'm looking for. Doesn't make you a bad pair. You're just not it. Boom, and pops up. Slant, pop up. That's ugly. Okay. All right. Any others? Let's keep going. Anybody else? This is good. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, news got you. Somebody said news got you. Yeah, this is why I said if you're not a professional trader who's used to different news events, then stay out of it. Stay out of it. Okay. Just leave it alone. We got 9 minutes before CAD news. Let's go to our GCAD setup. Okay. Like I said, it may play out nice. Look at that. But if it doesn't, then we at least know why. So let me give it to you guys like this. If you take some trades and you just say this, I just can't pass it up. That's cool, no problem. As long as you use what I call a small lot size, so that whether it wins or lose, it's not going to make a big difference. Okay, you don't really care. It's just like, okay, this is just a fun setup. So like I said, even with on this one, this has a 43 pip stop loss, 43 pips. And the most I'm going to lose on this trade is $6.16 because I'm using, look at this, 0.02 lot size on a 25K or 26K account. So is it going to make a big difference? Is it going to make a break? No, it's not going to make a break. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's just for fun. And for research, you can call it, hey, I'm researching. Okay. Everybody clear on that? All right. Somebody said GN for sale. Yeah, I've been watching GN. Here's why I didn't. I'm so glad you asked about GN. Thank you. Who is this who just asked about James? Okay, and then Rich, I'll get to UJ. Let's take a look at UJ first, and I'll come back to GN. Alrighty. All right. No, there's nothing I see here. Nothing. Like I said, no arrows, nothing. There's absolutely nothing here to be paying attention to. Now, maybe earlier. Let's take a look. I still didn't like it, to be honest. That's the 4-hour point of view. No, there's just nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing attractive. No arrows, nothing. Just no. Leave that alone. I'm so glad we're doing this. We need to do this more often. We really do. Okay. All right. So let's go over GN. Here's why I will not touch GN. What do you guys see? This is exactly what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. What do we see right there? Slant. Thank you, Liz. Right off the top, you can see it. Absolutely not. I'm not touching it because I'm going to wait until it comes back up and does this. Once it comes out this breakout pattern, because that's what it is. It's a breakout pattern. Oh, this is so good. My God. God, it's good. I can actually, hold on. Let's see which one this is. Okay, that's it. So I know it's green. See, look at this. Okay, so I'm looking, they have it color coded. So I know that the pattern is, what direction is it? Which direction is it going, you guys? The overall trend, up or down? Up. Okay. So then that means I have to look in the green category, which is right here, and look for the pattern. And let's see. Because it's going to be a continuation pattern. And this one is slamming downwards. Oh, bullish wedge. Donna, you see that? You see that? Your boy getting good. It's right there. It's number 1, 2, 3, right there. Bullish wedge. Or the symmetrical triangle, whichever one they want to call it. Ooh, I really like that. Wow. I'm really getting good. Ooh. Okay. Look, I was able to draw it in and everything. Because what? I just glanced at that. I told y'all $15 was the best investment for that thing. Wow. So anyway, this is but it still boils down to what I said. This is a slant pattern. And eventually, in my opinion, and again, you can check this tomorrow and we can double check it. But basically what I'm waiting for is to come back up. If it's a slant, pop up. That's what I'm going to do. Look at this huge slant. I mean, I really like this. Okay, slant popped up, slant popped up, slant pop up. So I wait for it to pop up. Okay, good one. Good. Good one, good one, good one. All right, any others? Any other questions? Now, let's go here. Let's go here. Somebody asked about a 415er. Let's see if we can find one, but I did like this setup so nicely. I mean, I really did. See, look at that slant. This is what I'm telling you guys. Here we go again, right in front of us. This is exactly what this one did. Okay, same thing. Let me check the name of this one. It is a continuation. That's a bullish flag. That's pretty good, huh, y'all? Somebody said, look at EJ. Yeah, I'll take a look at that momentarily. See, bullish flag. Either way it goes, pop up. So that's what I'm saying. Wait for these pop-ups. Okay, anytime you see a slant pattern, wait for the pop-up. And then once it retests the top, then you want to hop in it after the retest. Okay. Yeah. All right, James. Good, good. All right, GU. Somebody said GU. Oh, we rolling good. Well, we rolling good. Again, nothing. As soon as I've seen it, nothing. There's just nothing there. Absolutely nothing. That's like trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. Ain't nothing there. Thank you, Father. I am glad we're doing this. We're going to start doing this more often. We're going to do this more often. This is exactly what this class needs because we're looking at things that we have no business even glancing at. There's just nothing here. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And it's I prefer you guys do it here rather than to do it on your charts, because if you're doing this on your charts, this is why you're contributing to your losses, because there's nobody helping to break down and analyze what you're looking at. So for me personally, this is doing a huge sideways pattern. So what is there to look at in here? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Leave it alone. Yeah, we're going to start doing this more often. See, there's just nothing. You're playing in the channel. You can see it. It kind of broke out, but came back in the channel, broke out, came back in the channel, and just, this is just in sideways. So no. Very hard to trade those. Okay. Thank you for asking. Charlotte, good question. Very, very good question. All right. Rev said in 3 minutes, we have CAD news. Thank you. All right, let me go to somebody, King. Hey, King, I got you, bro. Hey, Yuri, Ernest. All right, King asked to look at EJ. All right, let's take a look at EJ. This is such a blessing. Same thing here, nothing. And I knew this, guys, I don't know what to call this one. Hold on one second. Let me put it on a blank chart, and then we'll come back to this one. This is something I've been watching this one for a long time, and I learned, nope, I ain't touching it. Maybe they have a name for it. Let me see if they actually have a name for it. If not, then I'll just tell you guys, this is one I don't fool with. The one thing I don't see on here is what they call the cup and handle shape. Man, this is very helpful. This is like one of the best classes ever that I've done. Even to help me. All right, I don't see it on here, but this is one I don't like. Okay. And this is where the market makers method get taken out as well. When I see a mushroom head, I don't know what to call it. I wish I had a drawing to like on TradingView or something, which I'm learning TradingView. But you got this head right here, and then it comes down. This is not a actual double top, okay? But it comes down, still creates that slant, and then it pops out of there. And this is where a lot of people who are trying to hold on to it, it's just not going to work. So let's go to sexy and see what it's looking like, and maybe I can explain it better there. It's hard to explain, but as soon as I see it, I'm like, no. So basically here, you can see where I've drawn a support. Okay, let me move this here. And that'd be better because you can see it's touching. And then it came literally to here, and then it came back and shot up. But once I see this curvature, it's like a curvature. They used to call it a cup and handle, and this is not a smooth one, but basically it's like holding a coffee cup. Okay. And so it curves over, hits, and then pops up. Used to call it cup and handle. So I don't see that. That's the only one I don't see on here, which is okay. But you still made your initial pips if you took this straight. Let me see if there was an arrow on it. Yeah, you would have rolled it right here. You would have had to hold it for a minute. Stop loss would have been above here. So here, boom, that's 69. Would you have made your money? Yep, 76 pips. You would have made your money back. So you would have just had to hold it. It did drop and make you profits, but holding it, which is where some people are trying to swing trade this stuff, this would have been a problem because now it hit, you didn't take your money, or at least take some of it and move your stop into your entry if you're going to do this, okay? Because you're going to get caught. You're going to get caught. Going to get caught. Going to get caught. So, it did get your 1-to-1, but if you think that it's going to go further down after a drop like this, what you want to do is take half your profits off the table and then move your stop loss to at least break even. So if it pops back up like it did, it's going to take you right out at your break even point, and at least you got something out of there. But a lot of people don't want to take anything out because they're being greedy. And this little curvature, as soon as I see it round off and drop, already know it's another form of a slant pattern. It's going to pop up. How far? I don't know, but I've seen this too many times where it just came back up and took people out. Okay. Okay. Oh, all right. So let's take a look. Cat interest rate came out. Let's see if Simplicity and Sexy Analyst called it. Wow. Right here. We're 44 pips and running. 44. But what am I going to do right now? Somebody tell me what to do right now as we speak. What do I do? Red says wait. What do I do? What do I do? Jim, there you go. All right. That's what I'm looking at. Right here. It's sitting right there on strong support level. So instead of being greedy, we have 52, 54, 58. Let's see if we hit 60. Go, go, go. Boom. Take it. Come on. Close. And we just closed 60 pips right in front of you. All right. So that's what I said. If you want to take news trades, take them. Ain't no problem with that. Oh, look, it's still going. Ooh. So, Reg, you possibly right too. So what it might do is if it comes down, then it may come and hit this level right here. If we were to hold it, me personally, I like where we got out at. 60 pips right for you guys. And this is a before and after live in class. So about to type of amen in the box. Yeah, James, you were right. Like I said, there's no right or wrong to it. So, but look at what it's doing now. This is why I said, what Uncle P have done? Since it's hitting this strong, very, very strong support, I'm just going to take it. Anything extra, praise God for it, the next man. But for me, don't be greedy. Just take what you can get out. In this trade, we have taken it right in front of each other. Okay, right in front of each other. 60 pips. That was pretty good, huh? YouTube family, type of amen as well. That was right in front of us. We took it right before, at the beginning of class, right before news. So guess what? The Sexy Analyst and Simplicity called it again. You don't have those two, I strongly suggest you get them. Oh, look at there. It's still going. Reggie, look. Look, Reg. Oh. So it might come out and hit this low then. Here's where it made the next target of support would be right here. Let's see if it hits it. I still would take my money. I just know me. This market would play me way too many times. So anything extra is butter. Now, I think it was James or somebody said that you could have taken some money off the table. This was a good one to use for an example. You could take some money off the table, take half your money, and move your stop loss into break even or just a little bit below it. And so therefore, if it did come back up, you're good. But if it keeps on riding down like it's doing now, that's all good too. Either way it goes, it was a profitable day. One trade a day keeps the bills away. I think I'm a Uncle P. Somebody hashtag Uncle P on that. Hashtag Uncle P. One trade a day keeps the bills away. That is really good. See, this is where I would I think it would touch if it was to come back down some more. But if not, I know where it's going to pull back up to. It's going to pull right back up to this support again. Let's watch. Let's give it a few more minutes and see. Yeah, see, it's just jingling. It's twerking right now. That thing's working. I don't want to make his mind up. See, so getting out right here was good for me. That was good enough. I'm good. Okay, you don't need a lot of trades. That was always one of my Achilles heels, you guys. Too many trades instead of quality. Just take a couple of good ones, and then if it wins or lose, okay, it is what it is. But look for quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. That's the lesson of the day for the class. Quality over quantity. One trade a day keeps the bills away. I'm in another group that's very, very popular, and the guy, he took one trade. He scaled it nicely, but he just made about 20-something thousand in the last 24 hours. But it was just on one nice quality setup, a nice quality setup. So my Achilles heel was taking too many trades because they're all looking good. That's kind of like being speed dating. You know, you're trying to speed date all these different people, and and sometimes what's going to happen is either you're going to end the week at a loss, or you're going to possibly just constantly keep finding yourself in a break-even situation, because some of them going to work out and some ain't. So just look at your trade. And here's the deal. Let me put some people on blast real quick while I'm saying this, because they always demand of you to do something that they themselves don't do. Well, show me your trade history. Show me this. Show me yours. You get what I'm saying? Show me yours. You don't track nothing. You just very, very itchy fingered. You don't track nothing. You don't trade nothing. You don't do nothing right. But then you demanding everybody else show you their trade records. Show me your history. Show me your bank account. Show me your this and that. And you won't do it yourself. So don't demand of others what you ain't doing yourself. If you don't have a journal to track your trades, then why are you demanding it from everybody else? Do you understand what I'm saying? Type amen if you know that's true. Okay, let's go to gold, which we have won a scalp trade on that one. Nice little scalp on that. So yeah, see, now it's double topping, but see, here's the deal on this one. Because of here we go. This is exactly what it did. Nice little scalp trade, by the way, this morning on this one. For those who were in the gold markets with us in the gold copier. Yeah, we ate off of that slant pattern this morning. This is exactly what the trade was. It was a slant pattern, and we just ate and did a little scalp on it. And that's what it was right there. Which, by the way, the trade for the 23,000 that I was telling you about, yeah, it was off of this slant pattern. They played it off the 1 minute, I think it was, but it was still the same thing. Okay, but they just stacked real heavy because they understood exactly what I'm teaching you guys. So they played that slant pattern. Here's a better way of looking at it, you guys. Let's go here. And there you go. See? So you can kind of see what actually happened on it. It slanted down to the main wave on the ocean wave and then popped up. Okay, you can clearly see it. And make this bigger. Slant down, hit the main wave, and popped up out of there. Okay, and I still believe it's going to pop up and go some more. Okay. See, there you go. That's all it was. Slant pattern, popped up. That's what it did. And so, yeah, we just scalped that thing and got some nice eating. Now it's hitting at a strong resistance level, but I don't think this is going to hold. So and number one, we don't have an arrow. So don't even worry about it. See, no arrow. No arrow. Okay. But because of what's going on geopolitically, I think gold is going to break and possibly come up here and test this range right up here. Now, this is just me talking, but that's where I think it may go. If it breaks out of this range, then the next favorable area will be right here. Okay, right to this level here. right there. Boom, 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 boom. That's where I think it may go if it breaks out of this. Now, it may stay contained, but if not, then that would be the next level I'm looking at from the 1 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour. We can see it right to there. But either way it goes, that's what I'm looking at. And that's not because of price action, but due to geopolitical situations, what's going on around the world. So if this breaks out, then yeah, you got a nice run up here to there. Okay. But we just scalped right to the double top because it was a slant pattern and it popped up. That's all that happened on the trade this morning. Slant pattern, pop up. See, it might break through even in front of us. And if it does, that's the next step. Yep, there you go. If this candle closes above this resistance level, that means it's going up. Ocean wave would be a better way of looking at it. Let's go to ocean. And there you go. Slant, popping up. There you go. Real simple. Yep, geopolitical tensions is making gold become a lot more attractive. And there we go. That already broke through. So therefore, guess what? We know what to look for next. And that is go to your 1 hour time frame and see where the next level was up there. Possibly, potentially. Either way it goes, that's that. I wouldn't be trying to reversal trade this at the moment. Too much going on. That's why gold has been a tough market to trade recently. Because of the geopolitical tensions. So what's happening is there's some stuff going on and it can affect the economy coming up. All right. Any other trades? And if you guys want me to, I can kind of cover for your educational purposes. I can kind of cover the tariffs that's going to come up because that is going to impact you guys. Okay. The tariff war that's about to happen actually is already starting, which is why gold is acting the way it is. That's the reason why gold has just suddenly stopped what it was doing. And this is what it was looking like right here. There's a lot of people, hey, what's going on with the gold trade? Here it is. This is what it was happening. And all of a sudden, and see, normally when you have consolidation patterns, they follow the original trend, which this was heading down because, hey, I call him Carrot Top. Carrot Top got voted in. And, people know he the money man. I told people the first time. I told my wife the first time. I said, I don't care what people say. I said, they're going to vote. He's going to become that president during that time when he was running the first time. I said, he's going to be the president. And she said, how do you know? I said, he's the money man. People want money. They're tired of being broke. And sure enough, he had won. And so this time, though, the market started going up, going up, going up. And as a result of that, look what happened to gold. Gold dropped. And so like, oh, okay. Money man back in office. We don't like his characteristics. We don't like his traits, but he knows how to make money. So that's why they were dumping gold like nobody's business. But then the tariff conversation comes in, and now that creates uncertainty in the markets. And so this is what the markets. And by the way, we are in many different groups that specifically trades gold, and some of the biggest traders that you guys follow on YouTube, they also got eaten alive on gold. So it wasn't just, if it was just you, don't take it personal. Okay, it wasn't. So you can literally see this chop box. Okay, this consolidation. It was huge. Just First we was running cool, but all of a sudden, guess what happened? We have geopolitical problems, and here's what happened. And then it broke out the opposite direction to the, look at there, you guys, just as I told you, it's breaking out as we speak. What I tell you? Ooh, we could have held that trade longer, but it's okay. Never get greedy. Take what you can. Look at there, right in front of you. Just as I told you. First stop will be right here. Second stop will be up here. But if not, it may come up to the average daily high. Good stop there. Either way it goes, still nice, right in front of us. Okay. All right. If you guys want me to, give me, just say type 10 in the box, and I'll take 10 more minutes of your time, and then we'll close class, and I will actually kind of go over tariffs for you guys a little bit so you can kind of understand what it is, why it's Is it necessary or should it not be necessary? And I'm just going to give you my perspective on it as a black guy with a baseball hat. But hopefully, if you want me to, and I'll go over it for you, it'll kind of give you some clarity as to what actually is going on and what's about to happen, if you guys want me to. So if you want me to, type a 10 in the box and I'll go over it real quick. And I'll just give you my opinion. Please do your own homework and research. But this is going to personally affect you. Okay. Just like that CPI report, this is about to affect you. Okay. And if I get 10 tens, then I'll go ahead and do it. If not, I'll let everybody go. Because again, I'm only sharing information with people who want to know it. If people don't want to know, then I'll leave them in their ignorance. Okay. And they get, and here's the funny thing about people. I'm gonna learn this. This is why my slogan is my wife know me like the back of my head. Soon she will see me smiling while I'm talking to a person, but if she hear that they're just flat out stubborn in their opinions, she know I'm just gonna get quiet on you. She knows me when I'm around other people. My wife, she's a wonderful person. She is so perceptive and she'll entertain and keep the conversation going. But I've already checked out a long time ago. I've checked out that conversation a whole lot. Let her go ahead and yap with the people, but I've already checked out mentally. I may smile and look at you, but I'm already checked out. I'm done because I already get that no matter what you hear, your mind is already made up. So, and that's why I don't like talking about politics because no matter what is told to you, your mind is already made up. So it's not like there's room for conversation. And the beautiful part about it, uh, and I was talking about my brother. My brother ended up, when I got done explaining things to him, just giving him a bit different perspective. He was in the military and he's retired. So he's, of course, hey, they need to pay their fair share because I need to, and I get it. You're valid. But do you believe there's another side? Because the ones who's paying into this, it's a different story. So are you open to hearing? And so it took him a minute to calm down, and I just approached it in a different way. I didn't antagonize him. I'm like, yeah, you got a good point. See, I don't need to, it's not one or the other, it's actually both. But the politicians keep squaring us up against each other so that you don't want to hear nothing I have to say, and I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. And in the end, we're voting for these people and we still arguing, and they already gone doing what they're going to do. And they aren't going to ask for your vote about it no more. So there's middle ground to everything if we're willing to listen. This is why it's just so irritating to me when I hear, oh, we're walking across the aisles. Oh my God, I can't stand that term. Oh, we're gonna work across the aisle. Y'all never do, man. Whatever. It's a Crips in the Bloods, bro. Get up out of here. Anyway, I got enough 10, so let me get into my perspective. And before I say this, here's what I was explaining to my brother on this pay your fair share, and then I'll get into the tariffs, the tariff war that's about to happen, and then we'll be done. I'll let class go. Okay, so let me write this down. Let me say this about paying your fair share. So here's what I explained to my brother, because I actually do this myself. He said, well, what about the poor? I said, it's really not a rich or poor thing. These politicians are just not telling you guys the truth. And so they keep saying, oh, and what they do is they say, oh, they're not paying their quote unquote fair share. I said, truth be told, I said, brother, there is a different way of looking at it. I said, and I do this. Why do I want my dollars going to places that I don't approve of? I'm running the company. I got to stay up all night. Nobody helped me. Nobody did anything for me. And then all of a sudden I have to pay my fair share. Let me pause my screen because I'm gonna share this with you guys, and then we're gonna get into the tariff wars. I just want you guys to be educated. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up so I can show you exactly what I sent to him. All right, and let me come on. And that's AI stuff. Oh God. Let me share my screen. Oh, give me a second. Let me pull it up. This is gonna hopefully for some of you guys it'll be eye opening. Um, all right, let me share my screen now. And then, like I said, the tariff wars is going to make sense to you guys, and you're going to hopefully understand a lot more than what you uh, been told. Because I want you guys not to be ignorant. Okay, so let's take a look at this picture right here. I told my brother, I said, where was all the people who were talking about pay your fair share and pay your fair share. I said, where were they right here? When you're sitting in your office at night trying to figure out, and this went on for, I think they said, according to his biography, this went on for like 7, 8, or 9 years where there was just no money coming in. No money. So where was the federal government? Where were you or anybody else when you're in this closet by yourself? And some of you guys are really literally, this is where you are right now. You're the one who's sitting there crying in the middle of the night, trying to get your dreams off the ground, trying to pursue whatever dream it is. And the moment you become successful and this happens to you, where you're on stages and now you are this person, now everybody comes after you saying, oh, you need to be paying your quote unquote fair share. How is it fair? This was original Amazon. This is it. This is what you look like when you on the process of building your dream. Who's there in the room? Just the person who's taking this picture. Is there anybody else? Come on. Come on. So this is why I told him, I said, I understand your perspective. That's true. And I do believe some taxes need to be paid. But here's the problem. The problem is that you want, let me go back. Let me rephrase it differently. That's kind of like I feel the tension coming through the camera. Let me rephrase how they do it. So what I was sharing with him is, and I do this as well. We donate a lot of money out to different organizations. People be trying to hit me up personally. I don't do that because guess what? I don't know who you are. See, this is what it looks like when you're building your dream. Look at this sign. This was Amazon. And the moment you become successful, you become a target. Because who's saying that you're a bad guy? Your politicians. Okay. Why? Because they're doing just like my brother. They get paid based off of what we, the entrepreneurs, and you, the entrepreneur or beginning entrepreneur, the more you become successful, the more you're going to become the bad guy because you became successful. But as long as you're in this closet right here, which is where some of you guys are right now in your trading career, this is where you are. Nobody knows. It's just you and this computer all alone, crying in the middle of the night, upset, can't figure out the markets. Type of amen if I'm telling the truth, the TRUTH. Am I telling the truth? Is this where some of you guys are? Come on. Is this where some of you guys are? Yeah. This is where dreamers, this is the dream. This is what it looks like. You struggle. And the moment you become successful, you'll pay your fair share. Quickly, let me get past this and then get into the tariffs. But here's the point that I was trying to make to him. What we do is we want to be kind of like your IRAs and 401ks. You have a self-directed IRA or 401k. Have you ever heard of that term? Yes or no? Self-directed IRA or 401k. In other words, you determine what happens with your 401k and IRA. Have you ever heard of that? Okay, Liz have, Rob have, Kenyon have. Anybody else? Okay. No? Okay. All right. Self-directed IRA and 401k means you have control over what is being invested in and out of it because it is your 401k and IRA for your retirement. Okay. So when it's self-directed, you want to direct your own finances because in the end, it belongs to you. Okay. People can say what they want, but you worked hard for what you got. Right. So here's the point. We do the same. I will take donations because according to the tax law, I can donate. So what I showed him, I sent him some articles. I said in 2020, guess who was the biggest donor of charitables? It wasn't your federal government. It was actually Amazon. Donated billions and billions of dollars. Warren Buffett has already been paying $5.7 billion a year in donations. And you can argue, well, I don't like where he's donating. That's none of your business. See, mind your business. Because I don't tell you where to donate your money, if you even donate. Some of you are so selfish, you don't donate a dime. But the fact is, a certain amount of money is being given away to charities. Okay. And so if you go and do your homework and look at how much is given away in charitable goods, you'll see that it's more than a fair share. I think Elon Musk just paid 5 point something billion to a charitable goods. So a lot of these organizations, they are helping around the world, whether you agree with where they're sending their money to, it is their money. They can do what they want. That's fine. But the point is that it is given away. The problem is that it's not given to the government first, so the government can give where it wants it to go. So as a result of it not going directly to the government's hand, they demonize you. So it's not like you don't give away things. I give away things all the time, but I just don't want to give it to you because you're funding wars and you creating havoc with the very money I have to work for, and I disagree with that. So why not give it to Autism Foundation? Why don't I give it to this street ministry where they built a platform out of they took what do you it's not as big as an 18-wheeler truck, but it's kind of that big, and they cut out the whole side and turned it into a actual traveling stage, and they go into poor communities and they minister and help and give food to the poor and these little kids, and they do activities with the poor little kids in the poor community. And they built this entire traveling thing where you turn the side of the truck down and it turns into a stage, a traveling stage, and they go into poor communities. Should I give it to the federal government, or was it okay for me to give it over here? So I want to self-direct where I want my taxes to be. So that's where we use the tax laws to be able to do something like that. So that's the reason why the federal government can't go after you, because it is the law. As long as you're giving it something away, that's fine. But they get mad if you don't give it directly to them. And that's where the fair share argument came in. All right. And that's just that one. And then we'll get into the tariffs. Was that helpful to you guys? Yeah, they call it tax write-offs, but in truth be told, I'm writing off to pay less in taxes, but it's still not like I didn't lose money because I still had to give something away. Either way it goes, the money is going out the door. It's not like, unless they're doing illegal, some people do this and they get caught, where they'll create their own foundation and the money gets funneled right back into their pocket. They get caught and they end up going to jail. But most people don't even worry about that. We just don't want you, the federal government, who's funding wars and starting all kind of chaos. We don't want you to have the money. So guess what we do? We just find our own places that we want to donate the money to. And you have to write it off because it is money that I just lost. It did go somewhere. It just didn't go to you. Okay. All right. Enough of that one. Now let's get to the tariffs. Here's what the tariffs are about. All right. So the best way I heard this story to start it off to explain to you guys how tariffs works. Okay. This did not make sense to me. And this is literally happening now. There was a question, hey, should we pull out of NATO or not? The answer was, sure, if NATO is willing to pay up their fair, watch this, fair share. Fair share. Okay. Why? So I think the conversation went like this. Yeah, you guys want us to come in if there's a war. Who's the number one person who protects the world? The United States. Okay. The United States is going out and trying to protect the world from all these bad people and the bad states and this and that. But at the same time, the United States, who isn't even involved in all these wars personally, nothing's happening here, we're fine, but we're going into your countries, defending you, and we're paying the most into the pot. And you guys have money and don't even pay your quote unquote fair share into the pot for the defense of this called NATO. So is that fair? You call us up saying, hey, defend us, but then you don't pay us anything. So we're using Uncle P's money, Liz's money, Donna's tax money. We're using all these people's tax money to go in to pay to defend you. And you don't even want to give us nothing. And here's where the tariffs come in. We ship our goods and services over to you. We have to pay a tariff, which has already been happening. In other words, what the tariff is, an additional tax. You ship your goods into, let's say, China. China's going to charge you 20% tax on everything you ship in there, which means if you have clients and customers over there, guess what? You got to factor into the price. 20% is going to go to the Chinese government because you shipped it into their country. Everything that's coming in their doors, they're charging 20% right off the top. So in other words, the federal government in China is getting, and I'm just hypothetically using numbers to explain tariffs. So everything that you ship, you say, oh, I got clients. I just landed the deal up in China to get some new clients. Cool. The first thing that happens the moment you ship your products over to China and it lands on their land, 20% just went off in taxes to the federal government, not even to your customers, to the federal government of China, the Republic of China. Okay. So you taking a 20% haircut on your profits just because you shipped it over there. But at the same time, your people over there who give you supplies, they send you their supplies over here, and we charge them absolutely barely nothing. So they can dump all their stuff here for free, but if we send things over there to them, we have to pay them, the federal government, before we can even do business with our actual clients. Is that fair? Yes or no? Is that fair? Is Liz the only one? Anybody else? Oh, there you go. Look at there. Look at there. Gold popped out, just like I told y'all. First target hit. That was the blue. If it keeps going, target number 2. Okay. Oh, stop. All right. I'm gonna ask again because if Liz is the only person listening, I'll stop. So I'm gonna ask again: is that fair that you ship your stuff over and have to pay 20% tax on it to the government over there, but they can ship their products over here for free? Okay, yeah, there you go. Send me some no's. All right, let me know. Let me know. All right. So here's where this comes in, and this is going to impact you. Okay. So Carrot Top says, the moment I get into office, I'm tired of the United States being ripped off. We're getting ripped off through NATO. We're getting ripped off through our trade deals and everything else, which is why, and I can't say this, okay? And this is what I was trying to explain the other day to you guys. Here's where there's a bad side to it and a good side to it for us, okay? The United States, I believe it was 70% of the United States GDP, or let me rephrase that, basically how they calculate what we doing with our money over here versus what other countries are doing with their money over there. Basically, what it boils down to, 70% of what's going on here in the US is called consumer spending, which is another report you guys can check. It comes out every single month. You can check it on my FX book when it's coming out, okay? It's consumer spending. That means we do not save money here in the United States. We get a couple of dollars in our pocket. We're going out to get the Jordans. We're going out to get the red bottoms. We're going out to get the Louis Vuitton and all these different things. We're a consumer. In other words, we don't save. We're the ones who eat everything that we get. Okay. Over in other countries, they save. Here in the United States, we buy. Buy. Okay. Everything, even if it ain't Christmas. You get a bonus check. What you do with it? Do you put it in savings? No. You buy. Okay. So as a result of our buying, we do have some leverage when it comes to this war. So what is the war? China already is trying to do a preemptive strike, which is why you see gold and every other commodity out of their normal ranges, because they're already, and this just happened the other day, where China said, okay, you want to start coming in the door talking about tariffs, and you're going to start actually charging us tax money to ship our goods into your country now? What? What do you mean? We want to continue to dump our stuff over there for free. Now you want to charge us a tax like we've been charging you a tariff all this time? And Carrot Top said, yeah, if you can do it, we can do it too. You want to ship your stuff over here? No problem. Pay a tax on it. Or stop charging us tax on our stuff sent to you. I think that's fair. Okay, not a problem. So this is why I don't argue about that. I get it. But here's where the problem comes in. So what just happened the other day is there was some grain contracts worth billions of dollars that China has with the United States. Guess what they just did? They said, well, we're canceling those contracts. We don't want your grain. So the farmers are panicking right now because of this tariff war. It just hit them just like that because China, one of their biggest business clients just said, we're canceling our contracts. Keep your grain over there. So now the farmers are tripping right now. It's already happening. The war has already began. So that is problematic. Okay. Number two, they said the raw materials that you need to build your military equipment with, guess what? We cutting that off too. So we ain't shipping no more of that over there. Y'all find your own source. That's pretty bad. Would you guys agree? Yes or no? Would you agree? That's kind of bad. It's already happening. This is why gold is going up again. uncertainty in the markets. This is what's going on. That's why now you can understand when the markets, when we were looking at it and we've seen this uncertainty, because at first the market was rejoicing, but now you can understand why it's busting back up to the upside now, because it's uncertain. And when there's uncertainty, the market is always going to go to the upside on gold. Okay. It's going to go up till people flee to gold. That's what's going on. Okay. All right. So now here's the deal. Let's go one step further. So should we be doing this tariff war then? Because if it's already tearing us up, what should we do? Well, there's a different way of looking at it. We are shipping our stuff over there, which they buy, and you say billions. That's a lot, but is it compared to how much they're dumping over here? They're making a boatload of money off of us, and we're going broke. We have trillions of dollars in debt. In fact, here's where somebody really said this, and this is going to really tear your drawers apart. There was this old guy he said, what people do not understand and the politicians never say, right now we're paying about $1 trillion just on the interest due on the debt. $1 trillion in interest payment. Imagine that's your house payment and you paying $1 trillion just in interest, okay? And they was explaining that 800 billion of that every year of your tax dollars is going to one of your debt holders called China. So we are actually paying China $800 billion a year on our debt because they own a lot of our debt. Did you guys hear that? $800 billion of your money is going over to China just to pay the debt on the loan. And that's not including the tariff they've been had on our goods and services. Because the moment you ship something over there, you're going to get paid. You're going to have to get taxed on it. They already had a tariff on our stuff. And you're paying $800 billion of our tax dollars just on interest alone. And that's just for one country. So do you see how this is problematic? How long can we sustain this? We can't. Without finding a resource to bring money in. Well, where can you get money from? Do to them, do unto others as you will have them do unto you. Tariff, tariff, tariff. Tax, tax, tax. That alone is going to start bringing in billions of dollars back into our pocket because now we're charging tax on them just like they were making billions of dollars on their tariffs with our goods and services, plus making 800 billion in interest rates, in interest alone on the debt. There is no way the United States is going to survive much longer this way. So therefore, as a result of that, something has to be done. And many of the presidents, Democrat and Republican, have already said for years they were going to do something about it. And because of them trying to keep a friendly relationship with our enemy states, guess what? They never did anything about it. So here's the question. Is tariffs necessary? I think so, because if we don't do something to start bringing in additional income, let me give it to you a simpler way. And then I'll get into the toilet tissue example and then we'll close up. All right, so think of it like this. You just had a baby, but you're making the same money. Oh, I'm sorry, you found out she's having twins. So now you got 2 babies coming into your house, but you ain't got no extra money. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got additional debts coming in, but no additional income to supplement it. This is exactly what it looks like for the United States. We have tons of debt and it's increasing every year, but we're not doing anything. And for all these years, we have never done anything different to say, hey, let us do some changes so that we can get out of debt and be able to sustain these 2 new babies. We have never done it. Never. And if that simple idea makes sense to you about you got 2 brand new babies, but you got no additional income, and you got and ladies, ain't nothing worse than you pregnant with twins, and you trying to tell your man we need to do something. He's sitting up on there on his Xbox, PlayStation, VR headset, acting like ain't nothing wrong. Are we good? Are we? We got 2 new mouths to feed, and you saying we good, and you ain't trying to get no additional income. You ain't trying to figure nothing out. What would you call that guy? Type. What would you call that kind of guy? If you was married to him or dating him? Huh? What would you call it? A scrub? Liz said she called him a scrub. Oh, scrub. Right? That's in the black colloquialism. That means he's no good man. Okay, I know we got people all over the world who gonna be watching this later. Yeah, he's a scrub. He ain't no good, right? Lazy, this and that. In other words, you need to do something. You can't just sit on the couch and keep hoping for better. You have to get off your butt and do something about it. Okay. This is what tariffs is. We are already paying tariffs in other countries. We just have to do the same thing in order to raise income because it's beneficial to me to start shipping my same stuff over. But guess what? It's going to create balance for anything we're shipping out because if you want our goods and services, guess what? You're going to have to pay up. Or here's a better way of doing it: lower your tariffs. We don't raise tariffs on you. You don't raise tariffs on us. The whole world is happy. Global economy can move around. But you want us to finance NATO. You want us to pay tariffs to all y'all countries, but you don't want us to charge anything extra. And we wonder why the United States is going broke. Here's what a lot of these countries are hoping for, truth be told. They know exactly what's going on. And now here's the bigger problem. We're financing all these different wars. Okay, remember, we're the head nosy person who try to protect the world. Nothing wrong with that. Praise God. That's why we've been blessed. But the truth of the matter is, it is what it is. We are over here trying to protect Taiwan. We're over here trying to finance Ukraine. We're over here trying to help out Israel. We're constantly spending out billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars in money to help support all these other countries. But who's paying us a dime to help protect us? That's the question. And if they're not going to pay us anything and we're out protecting everybody, then where does the money come from? And by the way, before you get self-righteous, this is your tax dollars, your quote unquote fair share. And I confirmed this myself, which is where more of our money went to. There was a lot of families who got affected by Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helen. What was the other one? The Hurricane Helen, or I know Milton went through Florida, North Carolina, all these places. FEMA denied a lot of those people money, their own citizens. I verified that myself. Your government said no. So you, to this day, you got a lot of people who still trying to figure out how they're going to get their life together because your government said no, we can't give you anything. Or they say, oh, we'll give you $300. But they just lost everything. And yet we're paying billions every month over to all these different wars and countries. It makes no sense. So to bring back some of the money, we can continue helping y'all, but y'all gonna have to start paying us some money. How do you do that? Through tariffs, tax. That alone will bring in billions and billions of dollars. Now, here's the trade war. And I'll get to the toilet tissue example when we're done. I heard this best explained this way. A person said, hey, look at it like this. They said, if Mexico is selling a roll of toilet paper for $1 and the United States is selling it for $2, you can see there's an imbalance. But if you start charging 100% tariff on Mexico's toilet paper, because they've been ripping us off, taking advantage of us, right? So what happens is Mexico's toilet paper becomes $2. United States toilet paper is $2. So is there any difference between the two? No. So why would I buy toilet paper from overseas when I can buy it right here from my neighbor for the exact same price? And as a result of that, remember, 70% of the United States people are consumer spending. So it's just a matter of who's going to get that 70% of the spending. So if you create a balance between the products and services and the cost of them through tariffs, what happens is the consumer says, I don't need to get the cheaper brand because the regular brand from my United States manufacturers is pretty much the same. So now I'll just buy the quality right from here. So what that does, it creates more jobs in the United States, and businesses owned here in the United States are no longer suffering because all the work is being outsourced to cheaper countries who then does things for pennies on the dollar and ship it back here for 5 to 10 times the amount and make plenty of money because they don't have to pay taxes. Now it's balanced out because $2 over here, $2 over there, it's still $2. I'll just buy the better brand. Simple as that. So it brings not only billions of dollars in through tariffs, but also creates a fair balance when you're going out to the stores to buy goods and services. American brand don't look so bad no more. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? If you have a question, real quick, raise your hand. I got about 10 minutes. If you have a question or want to ask me something about it. If not, then we're done. Okay. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. So in the short term, yes, it's going to be ugly with a trade war. In the long term, we're actually going to be, in my opinion, if I was president, I actually would agree with this because I know this would bring in billions of dollars, like they're making billions of dollars. And instead of me having to figure out how I'm going to come up with, just for China alone, $800 billion a year coming out of my pocket, but I don't have additional income coming in. So we're constantly losing 800 billions going out the door, but we ain't got $800 billion worth of stuff coming in. This is why they create fake money. This is why they keep printing money, because as long as the dollar is king in the United States, we still can stay afloat because we can print it to pay our debts. That's what we've been doing. We don't actually have anything of worth, so other than the paper printer. That's what we've been doing. Paper printing. Paper printing. And as a result of that, that's why your rent went up. That's why your grocery bills went up. That's why your rent went up. That's why your gas went up. That's why everything about your life went up, because we don't have anything to sell to make money other than this printer. And when the printer runs out of ink, we're dead in the water. And it was just a matter of time. Literally, because nobody was doing anything different other than depending on this printer. And the moment, and this is where it gets even bigger. Remember, you keep hearing it about the BRICS nations. The BRICS nations, they're not stupid. China knows you just paying me out of printed money. But what happens if this dollar is no longer king? I'm holding on to trillions of debt of your money. And even if you pay me with $800 million a year, your money is funny now. Because if the dollar is no longer king, guess what? You just like all the other broke countries. How are you going to pay us now? And basically, you're going to have to start selling off land, which has been happening. We own you. That's why the Bible says the slave is servant to the lender. This is why it's better to get out of debt, because you are a slave to whoever you owe money to. And we're enslaved to all these countries. That's why nobody ever wanted to do a tariff war, because we have to kiss their behinds. Why? Because we are in debt with them. And we're afraid of them pulling the rug from under us. That's exactly what's going on, people. We're weak. We keep touting that's the #1 country, but how is that possible when your enemy countries own you through the debts that we owe? Well, something has to be done. We can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's called insanity. And that's what we've been doing for the last several decades. We've been insane. And that's why your debt, the United States debt, has been going up to trillions of dollars. And we have never done anything of importance to bring in additional income to help offset that. So just imagine, going back, we owe $800 billion a year in tax debt, or I'm sorry, in student loan debt. Let's take it like that, because some of y'all have student loan. You understand that. You got to repay it, okay? So you don't have a job, and yet you got to pay back this loan. Or you got a basic job, but you got a student loan debt that's overshadowing. So what do? You paying your debt with a credit card. Debt with credit card, paying your debt. So now you're getting further in the hole. Why? Because of one big problem. You don't have additional income coming in. If you had additional income coming in, you don't have to keep paying one debt with another debt called a credit card. Okay? People paying their rent and their groceries with a credit card. Why? Because their bank account don't have enough money in it. Type of amen if I'm telling the truth. Come on, talk to me now. Quickly, because I gotta go. Am I telling the truth? People are so in debt, they're paying their bills, buying their groceries, paying their gas on credit cards. And when that credit card get worn out, what do? Get another credit card. And when that credit card goes out, they try to get another one. Okay? And they're living from paycheck to paycheck, from credit card to credit card. And how long can they sustain that? They can't. So if you can understand that concept, you have just understood what's going on in the United States. And this is why The tariffs have to happen because we have to say enough is enough. I need to start bringing in additional income because all of y'all, the credit card companies, just like credit card companies, your landlord, his bills went up. Guess what he did? He raised your rents. I used to be a landlord. I told my wife, if I was actually in real estate, I'm telling you the rules of real estate. Landlords never suffer. Never. They never suffer from increased debt. Never. Inflation never touches your landlord. Some of you guys are renting. You're going to be like, dang, so nobody ever told me this. Why did your rent go up? I'll explain why. The moment that there's an inflation cost to your landlord is going to put it into your rent. Your landlord controls his debt through you. If you don't get nothing else, that just blessed your soul. Now you understand why some people like me, I never want to buy another house. That 7,000 square foot house, and me and Nancy, we like to move. Every couple of years, we like to move. But when I saw what was going on, that's why I bought this house. I said, I need to lock in and pay this off as fast as possible, this new house. But at least for 30 years, the landlord can't raise my note. Every month for 30 years, it's going to be exactly the same, whether the economy goes up or not. That was the privilege of buying the house. I locked in my monthly payment. But if you're renting, every time there is an increase of the inflation on your landlord, he's going to inflate your costs because you're going to always pay his debt. Landlords never go into debt. You do for them. And if you move out, they move somebody else in. So who's the landlord? Consider them China and all these other places who's been taking advantage of us. They're constantly raising up our prices on us. And meanwhile, we, the tenants, never have a chance to raise the prices on them, even though we in the house baking cookies for the landlord. So the landlord's sitting up there coming every month, coming to get some cookies from me. But then he keep raising up my prices. But then if I say I'm gonna raise my prices on my cookies, I'm gonna have to stop buying your cookies then. See, he's always got you under threat. And meanwhile, he can just inflate your costs as much as he wants, keep you enslaved to him because you in his spot. He owns you. But he don't expect you to raise no prices on your cookies. So a tariff looks like this. Okay, sir, you want to raise my rent every year? Guess what I'm gonna do? You love my cookies? I'm gonna raise my prices on my cookies. So as my price over here is going up through you, your price over here is, and we're going to stay neutral. See, now we both benefited. You're not going to put me deeper in debt while you coming up bigger and enjoying my cookies. Type of 55 if that just made sense to you guys. You raise the rents, I'm going to raise the price of my cookies. Because this is going to be a fair and balanced trade. This is what they call a trade balance. You're trading your cookies for residence with this person, but this person keep raising up their rents on you, but they don't expect you to raise your cookie price to match it. And every time you say you're going to raise your cookie price, they threaten you with eviction. Until a new tenant comes in and says, well, you just don't have to throw me out. Something gonna give, because guess what? You suckered the last person, but you ain't gonna sucker me. I know the value of my cookies, and I know, and how do I know? Because I put some chemicals in there that make it addictive, and you can't get these cookies from nowhere else, partner. So you want these cookies? Stop raising up my price. You don't want your price of your cookies to go up? Stop raising the price of the rent. And we can work out a deal where it's fair now. But if you go ahead and raise that rent, guess what? I'm gonna raise the price of my addiction cookies, my crack cookies. You can't get them nowhere else. You're going to be addicted to my cookies. Guess what? You want me to feed your addiction? Guess what? You raise my rent, I'm going to raise my cookies. Raise my rent, I'm going to raise my cookies. Either way it goes, we both going to be coming up, or we both going to lower this down. Either way it goes, you ain't going to do me like you did everybody else. Praise God. That is what tariffs does. It balances, it makes an even playing field. Okay? I hope this is making an understanding. This can temporarily affect how much you're going to be paying for your goods and services, though. But in the long run, it's going to enrich us because we're finally going to be able to get out of debt. Okay. Here's the other thing. Oh my God, look at this, you guys. I'm glad we stayed just a few minutes behind, and I'll be closing class momentarily. Look at it. Look, we already broke through. Let me make this bigger. I literally called it in class. Target number one hit. Look at where it's going. Target number two, just as we said in class. Now, what we did was, because of news, we took a sniper trade this morning on gold. So that was a nice win. But look, this was very, very nice. So it's approaching target number two. That's 2 trades this week in one day in front of you guys. 2 trades, GCAD and gold. That's why it's good to come to class. See, didn't I tell y'all this? Look at this. Look at that. Didn't I call it? Remember? We took our pips. See, I told you guys it wasn't going no further. I knew that. So I said, grab and go. Called that right in here in class. For those who came to class, there you go. See, strong support. I knew it. I told you it was going to come down. It just touched the average daily low. And then after that, look at there. Bounce right back up. Right in front of you. See, come to class. All right, let me wrap this up and say this quickly. And Luke, I got your hand. I see your hand, Luke. I'll get to you. Here's the point. By us now raising up our prices on our goods and services called tariffs, it now brings an additional income to pay down that $800 billion. It's not coming out of my pocket. It's coming out of our products. Okay? Because when you need some of our products, just like we need some of y'all's. Okay? So here's the point. We're going to pay the $800 billion every year, but instead of us paying it out of our broke pocket, or we don't even have pockets anymore, we have credit cards called a printing machine. We keep printing money, but we're going to turn these printers off, and we're going to, number one, raise tariffs, which is going to bring in billions of dollars, hopefully at least $800 billion a year. So now we're not paying out of the printer. We're paying out of real money that we're making because we raised up our prices. Just like the landlord raised up their prices, we raise up our prices to what we're shipping over to you guys, called tariffs. Now you're going to pay us, and out of the money you now paying us, we'll pay you back through the debt. So it creates a balance. It creates balance. Now, if you want to stop all this foolishness, stop doing this, stop playing us, we'll stop playing you, and we can have a fair balance, a fair trade balance between the two. And we can negotiate that. We can. It can be negotiated. It can be. But the truth is, we've been getting suckered off for years. For years. This is why the rich don't like paying taxes, because they know what's going on behind the scenes, and this is not fair. Okay? So when you hear fair, pay your fair share, they're looking at, where are my dollars going? It's going to finance, which, by the way, let me say this quickly. The guy, the old man, he explained, he said, if the Americans really knew what was going on with their money, and China is just one country, just one of several that we owe money to, because we owe trillions of dollars, 34 trillion in debt, I think it is. So who else owns trillions of dollars? All of our enemy countries. We're in debt to them. So watch how this works. He said, if they knew that, and just use China for an example, he said $800 billion a year goes to finance China. And as a result, this is why China's economy, if you go look at their, matter of fact, I was looking at a guy who visited China, and night and day to the United States. They just cold with it, technology and everything else. Guess how they're paying for this? He said the Red China Army is so big. You know why? Because they're getting $800 billion a year in interest payments. That's just the interest on what we owe to them. And we're financing their military. We're paying for it through $800 billion a year. So do you think, as a person who sits here with y'all sitting up there working hard to get your money, you going to be happy to pay your quote unquote fair share? And this is just China. That don't mean other countries. $1 trillion in interest payments. That's your money going out the door. Let me take Luke's hand. Luke, go ahead and unmute.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up with you?
I'm doing good. I wanted to get your opinion on something.
Okay.
I know I've kind of talked to you about it before last year, about Texas introducing a gold-backed digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they just introduced another bill that's going to be voted on in the new Texas legislature,
Okay.
and this it includes silver as well. And they're
Sure.
talking about the whole reason to do that is to kind of cut off the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
You know, they're printing of money and everything like that. And I was
Exactly right.
kind of wondering what would happen with the forex market if that catches on with other states, because I read that there was like 10 other states also that were considering doing that as well.
Yeah, there's a possibility. This been going on. Like I said, this whole BRICS thing, which people heard about it, but they really not understanding what's going on. These countries are trying to dump the dollar. They're trying to get out from underneath the weight of the dollar. And for those who are all for that, I think they're crazy, because what's going to happen if you live here in the United States and they get rid of the dollar, we instantly overnight become a third world country, because the only reason why we are number one in the world is because the dollar is king. Okay, which is
Yeah,
why,
it's
right now, what?
tied to the oil.
Right, everything is traded in the dollar. Okay, the moment you take the dollar away, where's our strength? Remember, we don't ship out anything worthwhile. 70% of our economy is based on consumer spending. We spend every dollar we get. Okay. Therefore, let me keep that in mind too. Don't. I got a point on that that I want to say, because this tariff war can be beneficial because we are 70% consumer. Okay, it can work in our favor, but I'll get back to that. But the point is that without Carrot Top had talked about, uh, if any country says they're not going to deal in dollars, then we're going to slap 100% tariff on you. Okay, we're going to offset the cost. So you're trying to get rid of us and make us into a third world country. That is literally going to happen. This is why I'm not into politics. I'm into business. Because if they do that and the BRICS goes through, or any digital currency outside of the dollar, the United States, we're done overnight, instantly.
Yep.
Instantly. Every single one of us are broke. Okay, instantly. Okay, your fancy house, your fancy car, red bottoms, this and that, and I'm going to twerk and make him pay up. That money he gives to you is going to be like toilet paper. And this has happened in other countries, like well, I ain't gonna say no names. I don't want nobody to get offended if it's your country, but it has happened where you can have a $500,000 currency, and it may only equal up to about $1,000 in somewhere else. So you just went from being a wealthy person to being broke and common, just like the next person, just because the dollar lost its value. That is dangerous, and that's why Carrot Top came on the news and said any country who tries to get rid of the dollar, we're going to slap 100% tariffs on you. In other words, going back to exactly what I was trying to explain to you guys, the landlord says he's going to raise that rent by not using our currency, and I'm gonna look, you can't pay your rent with the dollar. Well, that's all I have. Well, I'm sorry, guess what? You figure it out, bro. We ain't taking your, let me give it to you like this so you guys can kind of understand the parallel. You go to a place, and this just happened. You go to a place, they say we don't accept checks. Okay, and in some places they say we don't even accept cash. Okay, like at ball games and this and that, we don't accept cash. Okay, so the bottom line is, if they don't accept it, but this is all you have to pay with, what happens to your value? You could have had $1 million worth of dollar bills, but if they say we don't accept this anymore, is that $1 million still a million?
Nope.
So what just happened to all the millionaires?
Yep.
What happened to the poor? What happened to the middle class? Overnight, we're wiped out. This is what they're trying to do to us. That is why the tariffs are necessary, to offset. Okay, you want to cut us off? Fine. Whatever we're going to pay in, because we have to convert it to whatever you want, and fine. We're going to slap you with 100% tariffs for you to ship your stuff in. Because guess what? You can build the best car, and I'm doing a hand like the girls on the street, they talk with their hands in your face. You know, I'm so glad Nancy don't do that. Oh my God, I don't like that. Talking with your, yeah. So here's how we doing it. Here's how tariffs work. Okay, cool. You want to cut our money off? Cool. Here's how we gonna do this. You want some of this good? Guess what you're gonna have to do then? You're gonna have to pay 100% tariffs on it. Now, boo. What you gonna do? And they'd be like, okay, well, let's go to the negotiating table. Why? Because here's how it works in our favor. What was the percentage of consumer spending we do? 70%. This is why all these countries cannot just cut off the United States long term. They may threaten temporarily, but in my opinion, they can't, because here's the deal. If you just manufactured 1 million cars in your country, which country buys most of them? The United States. Because we're consumers. We buy everybody's stuff. Your lashes that come from China, they say we ain't ship you no lashes. Well, guess what? Every nail shop, I'm just trying to keep it real so everybody understand how this works. Every nail shop over here, every lash spot over here who you going to, they don't have the supplies to do your lashes. So they just going broke. These manufacturers who over there created a million nails and wigs in China and any other product over there in China, they still manufactured 1 million of their products, but they don't have nowhere to send it to. Because why? 70% of my buyers is here in the United States, and they
Don't knock my lashes, Uncle P.
So sorry, girl.
I'm just messing with you. I just wanted to jump in and say that real quick.
I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. How many things exist here in China? It's hardly any product over here that doesn't say it was manufactured where? In China or in Taiwan. See, they need us just like we need them. So if they say, hey, we're going to cut you off, well, here's the question. That's cool. How long can you sustain? Because we're your number one buyer. Why? Because the other countries are smart enough not to keep buying up everything. They saving up too. So you got all these products that can be used, but they're sitting up on the shelf. So guess what? Eventually your economy gonna collapse too. This is where the 70% consumer spending comes in our favor, because they have to have a place to dump their goods and services to make their money. Because if you're making all these cars and all these goods and services, but you don't have a buyer, you ain't making money either, Mr. Landlord. So now are we gonna sit down at this table and cut this foolishness out and balance this thing out, or you gonna keep playing? Because we need your products and services, but you need me to buy them. Boom. Gotcha, boo.
No, yeah, I understand, because that's the same. That's what happened to Gaddafi in Libya. He tried to trade oil with gold. They took him out.
You got it. This is my point, guys. So yes, short term, it may be very ugly, but long term, it had to happen. We can't keep letting the landlord raise the rents and still expecting us to defend the world, pay your bills, pay our rent, called loans, 800 billion to you, billions of dollars here. Plus, we still gonna finance the wars over here, finance Taiwan, finance Ukraine, finance Israel. Like, we finance, and the only thing we're living off of is the printing machine. And y'all trying to even turn that off through bricks.
And on top of that, the Pentagon is losing billions of dollars.
In fact, and I know a lot of people don't like to see this, is why I don't get into politics, because see, I don't deal with politics, I deal with numbers. This is what we do. We trade in the markets. Markets deal with numbers. That's all we're doing, is looking at numbers all day long. Anytime you hit these charts, you're looking at the numbers. How many pips? That's a number. Where's the price at for entry? Numbers. All we're doing is looking at numbers. So you need to get out of your political head and start looking at the numbers. The truth of the matter is, they just discovered that the federal government is wasting about $500 billion a year of your money without any accountability of where it's going.
Yep.
And you still want me to share? You know how hard it is? Y'all trade? Trading is easy, but it's hard. To take a trade, man, look, I'm gonna take a trade. Watch how fast I'm gonna take this trade. I say, okay, I'm assuming it's a buy, and let me go ahead and where I'm enter at. Hold on, let me find this trade. Give me a second. There you go. All right, I'm gonna put my stop loss down here. Let's just say I'm gonna put it right down here, and that's a 55 pip stop. And it's stuck in between here. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. All right, and let's go up here and put that at, let's do 55. Let's just do 60. Let's say it's a slant pattern that's going to pop up, and there you go. All right, so even with talking with you guys and doing this, the trade itself only took a few minutes, but the emotional toll of waiting for this thing to play out, it is stressful as heck. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Right. It's very stressful. So after doing this all day long, all week long, and then you finally make a little money, here come the federal government who didn't help you analyze these charts, who didn't help you do anything. And then as soon as you become successful, they say, oh, you need to pay your quote unquote fair share. Well, what are you going to do with the money? Exactly what I've been telling you. 800 billion to the red China, which is why their army is so immaculate. I mean, just take a look at the picture of the Chinese army and their military equipment. You're paying for that through the interest debt. You're paying for that. So you say, no, we don't need to drill oil. Well, where else are we going to make what? See, the problem is that we get political versus just using numbers. Where are you going to, you have two new babies. You got more debt coming in. You're paying everybody else's. You loaning money out to everybody else. And yet the only way you're making life work is through your printer because you ain't doing nothing different. And what they're trying to do is cut your printer off. Not only are you the savior of the world, but now they're trying to cut off the way you finance it through the printer by going through bricks. We don't want your dollars no more either, because we know if we do that, and here's how this works, and let's take this one step further. Oh God, I shouldn't have said this. This gets bad. And it just hit me. Oh my God, this is gonna be bad. If we don't make a move now, guys, and start shoring up and doing something to protect ourselves, to the enemies who do get along secretly behind the scenes, they have one common enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay, I'll say that again. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. We don't really get along, but we got a common enemy to focus on. Who is that? If you're the Middle East, if you're Russia, you're China, you're South Korea or North Korea, whatever, Kim Jong-un, okay? You got these powerhouses who wants to take over the world, okay? Which is what they're trying to do. There is only one person standing in their way. Who do you think that is? The United States. We're standing in the way of total chaos happening, all hell breaking loose. Without the United States, the world would have already collapsed under these regimes. It would have already happened. So the focus is, if we can't overpower them because they have strong military equipment just like us, which other way can we break down this country? Because it ain't just about the United States. It's the United States is the security guard who's blocking us at the door. It's kind of like if people were standing in line at the club. You know, here's the point. In a popular club, if it wasn't for security standing at the door, telling people who can and cannot go in, do you think everybody be standing in the cold waiting to get in that club? Of course not. Everybody will just pour in. But because you have the security standing at the door, vetting who's coming in and when they can come in and when they can't, therefore the line is organized and no chaos. Okay. We're standing in the way of them taking over the world, literally. So if we can't beat them militarily, in other words, if we can't beat them, the United States militarily, because they also have nuclear weapons, we don't want to tamper with that. What other way can we do it? Let's use the Bible. The servant is slave to the lender. Let's make them economically weak. And then let's fire off all these wars around the world, which we know they're going to put on their cape with their broke self, use their last money, and they're going to go out here and try to defend the world and finance these wars out of their own pocket. Meanwhile, you got Europe and all these other countries who could contribute more money, and they don't. So we're paying the most to go out and do the most work to defend these countries. How long do you think our printer is going to last before people say, and here's what they're doing. On the back end, they're saying, okay, now we got them going. So we got them running around like a chicken with their head cut off. Plus, they're paying us billions of dollars every single year on this debt. So guess what? Now, the only way that they can still survive is through that printer. How do we attack the printer?
Yeah.
Here's how we do it. Let's create bricks. We create our own currency. And once we create our own currency in the world, and we can get the world to adapt to our new currency, nobody's using their printer anymore. And now they can't even pay to defend themselves, let alone the rest of the world. And boom, checkmate. This is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And this is why tariffs are necessary, because we have to find another way other than the printer to defend ourselves and keep the finances up. So here's what it looks like. Without the printer, what else can we do? We raise tariffs. In other words, we're going to charge you a tax to bring your goods and services over here, just like you're charging us. As a result of that, that's going to now instantly we become a landlord just like you, Nigarachi. You the landlord, we're gonna become one too. So guess what? We the landlord and we charging you rent money to come bring your stuff over here, just like you've been doing this to us for years. And nobody says a single word about it. This is why I don't like politics, because they sit there and tell you half the story and get you running up and down the street, tripping and arguing with your family, getting played, and you have no idea what you're talking about. They've been doing this to us, charging us rent money. They are the landlord. We just saying, you know what, enough is enough. I'm about to become a landlord. If it works for you, it's work for me. So we're going to become a landlord. You want to ship your stuff into my apartment building to store your stuff in my apartment building? I'm going to start charging you rent, partner. Instantly, without the printer, what do we just do? Create income. So now we can start paying our debts without the printer. Number two, we are so stupid. And I'm just being plain and honest. We are dumb as two rocks. We figure Green New Deal, and again, I'm for green. Okay, cool. I don't have a problem with that. That's not my issue. The way we went about it is stupid.
Oh yeah,
so
couldn't agree more.
We say, okay, I'm for green planet. But Nigarachi, how come I should not say that word, but I'm infuriated how stupid they sell stuff to the public, and these people don't even think, they just agree. Here's the problem with that. You sitting up here promoting yourself like you're saving the planet. Meanwhile, you're taking taxpayers' dollars and you shipping it over to our enemy states to go buy the very thing that you have underneath your feet. So are we living on two different earths, or is it still the same earth? Because if you're buying the oil where they're over there drilling into the earth, why would you pay somebody an inflated cost to drill into the same earth you on just so you can brag that you didn't drill in the earth? See, I'm saving the planet. I didn't drill in the earth, but you paying people to do it over there. And then you have to pay them, watch this, a tariff to manufacture it and ship it back over here to you. What the heck? Are you just too dumb, stupid? Oh my God. Just so you can stand on your podium and say that you didn't drill into the earth, but you paying people across the seas to do it, and then they're going to charge you a premium or a tariff to ship the oil back to you?
And see, and another
fair share? This is what you want me to pay for? And you wonder why people who make money, they're saying all this. You wonder why they're not interested in trying to pay their quote unquote fair share. That ain't fair. That's stupid. It's asinine. And here's what we should have done. The same oil that's under their ground is the same oil that's under your ground. Now, what you could have did, which is another way of becoming watch this, is additional streams of income. Let me use that term. Everybody heard of additional streams? Sorry, you heard of additional streams of income, right? Right?
Yep.
Okay. You got debts to pay to your landlord. How do you do that? Let's create additional streams of income to pay for these additional babies. So number one, I'm gonna start charging you tax on everything you ship over, just like you've been doing this to us. Instantly, we're making billions of dollars, just like that. Okay, so now you got one additional stream of income. Number two, instead of me paying you to dig into the earth to get the oil out, and then you ship it over here at 2 and 3 times the price, as if we're living on two separate earths, I got the same oil as you. Let me cut my contracts with you for buying oil from you. So yeah, it sounds bad that China just cut their contract. Guess what? We're going to do the same. We're cutting the contracts. We don't need y'all's oil. Why? We got the same oil over here. And we're just going to start drilling from underneath our feet. And let's get our own oil. It's the same planet, same oil. We just been paying you billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of fair share money to get the same oil out the same earth and ship it over here because it made me look good, like I'm protecting the planet. But I'm paying you a premium to our enemy countries, which means I'm financing you to start these wars. Because if you don't have money, you couldn't start a war. That's why there were no wars, because they couldn't afford it. But the moment I start paying you billions of dollars every year for oil out the earth, which I already have my own, but I didn't want to use mine, so I don't want to get my hand dirty. I'm not green, no damn green. My constituents want me to be green. I'm green. See, I ain't touched the earth. But you pay billions of dollars to the enemies, and now they're making billions of dollars, and they're starting havoc. Why? Because you financed it with our taxpayer dollars, because buying from them made them become rich. Now they can start trouble anywhere they want. And because you owe them debt, you can't really. That's why we say, oh, yeah, you will ship the weapons into Ukraine, but we ain't getting involved with Ukraine. You wonder why that happened? That's the reason why. Because guess what? I know we in debt. We don't want you to get us, but so we gonna make it look like but we really ain't touching it. See, we scared to get involved in anything because we owe we're slaves to the master, and we're afraid of what the master gonna do. And that's right. And meanwhile, the master said, we know not only are we making billions off of your stupid behind, but we trying to find a way to cut you completely off and make you useless. How did they do that? Cut the printer off. Cut off the printer, we got them. So we have to do a preemptive strike and say, guess what? I know they're trying to cut off the printer. And if they do succeed, what other income do we have? Because we just a one-trick pony right now. The printer is the one-trick pony. That's all you got is that printer. But a smart person to come in and say, okay, let's just assume that I'm going to lose this printer. Where else can I get money? Well, become a landlord. You ship your stuff into my land, I'm going to charge you some rent money. And that'll rake in billions of dollars. Second way, instead of paying you all these billions of dollars to drill into the earth to get the same oil that any of our countries, which we have more than most countries underneath our feet, we're going to cut our contracts off. You just lost billions of dollars. Guess what? We start drilling, and now now watch this. We become the landlord over here. We got a second property bringing income called oil. Now we got so much of it. Our people who live here, your cost of your energy cost goes down, and we have so much extra. We become the number one exporter of this oil, and we ship it out, and we make it more rent money. So we got two incomes while lowering our rent bill called energy costs. Okay, whoever controls energy controls the world. So now we just lowered our bills while making more income. Now, here's where Green New Deal could have came in at, which is why I said I'm not against it. We just went around as stupid. With the excessive amount of money, which is what they're doing, they're using all this excessive billions of dollars coming in to finance wars. What could we have done with ours if we did the same thing? We drill, sell the excess, the extra, okay? Sell the extra, bring in more billions. So billions from rent, billions from our energy, because now y'all buying it from us, okay? Now, you take a portion of that, a tithe, take 10% of that, and you start investing into the green products from your surplus. You're trying to invest into green, and you don't even have the money. It just sounded, but it was breaking us dry. It was stupid. You're financing all these wars, paying all these billions in debt, and you ain't even got the money. And now you're trying to start a green product? You were stupid. Now, what we can do is drill here, cut them off. They just lost billions of dollars. Yeah, like I said, you want to play tough, Mr. Landlord? We can do the same thing, baby. We got you, boo. We got you, right? We got you. We're going to do exactly what you do. We're going to cut you off. We don't need your oil. No, we good. We good. I got my own. I'm going to start going in my backyard and drill. So now, cool. I'm wealthy. I'm wealthy overnight. Wealthy. Tariffs came in, rent money came in, wealthy. Energy costs, wealthy. Citizens, cheaper. Cheaper. Okay? Then I take 10% of that and invest into the green stuff because I ain't getting it from you. I don't need you no more. We can do it ourselves. So if y'all want to cut the dollar off, guess what, boo? We gonna be all right. That's how you do it. Because we've found new sources of income to supplement other than the printer. That is what tariffs is.
And those tariffs will also bring back a lot of countries that went overseas too.
Yes, that's exactly.
get away from that pay your fair share.
That's my
You got a
point.
lot.
We don't need you. So guess what happens? If I bring back oil, and just for an example, if I'm buying all of my oil from over the country, overseas, from my enemy country, don't that create jobs for them? Because somebody got to dig that oil up out the ground. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So things, not only are we financing our enemy, but we helping them to create jobs because somebody got to go dig it up. If they're making billions of dollars in jobs, manufacturing, and importing and exporting, they're making a killing off of us, the consumer. If we cut them off, somebody over here has to drill that oil. Am I right? Somebody
Yep.
here has to process it. Am I right? So in other words, the United States just got thousands and thousands of jobs back, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
For the same exact product that we was paying the person across the way. It's the same product. It's not. Look, lettuce is lettuce. Whether I pay you, I heard a video by I think it was 50 Cent or somebody. They said, and they was teaching on the principle of value, self value. And they said you go to your local store, and I'm paraphrasing. You go to your local store and you can get a bottle of water for about $1. You go to a restaurant, they may charge you $3. He said, you go to the airport, they charge you $7. He said, what's different about the water? Nothing. What happened to the value? You just took the same thing and moved it where it was more appreciated. That's all.
Yeah.
It's the same. So when we're talking about oil, Earth produces the oil. So it doesn't matter whether we got it from over there or whether we got it from underneath our feet. It was the same oil. We should never have financed them people who are crazy. That's like paying a maniac and expecting him to behave himself. Now, when he starts killing and going crazy, it's because he now can afford to do the sins that was in his head because you paying him to do it. But if he's broke, half the things that he's trying to do, he will not be able to afford to do it. So instantly, you just brought back peace to the land just by cutting off their finances. How did you do that? We don't need your resources. I'm no longer financing you. I'll use my own. And then the countries who are our partner countries will be more happy to buy the oil from us than from the enemy. You think, here's something else, and I'm sorry, y'all, I'm going to let y'all go. Here's something else. You wonder why the European countries ain't doing much in this war. You would think they would be highly proactive in this war with Ukraine, but they're right next door. This is why Carrot Top, I do agree with this. He said, why are we financing paying the top dollar to defend this war? And we ain't even in the next door neighbor. We have a whole entire ocean away from this war. Y'all right next door and you don't want to pay nothing. And you're not really helping. Why is that? Nobody ever asks these questions. Why? Because we look at things through politics. Politics. I don't know if y'all seen that new Denzel movie, Gladiator 2. That was heck of funny. He said, it's politics. It's politics. Okay? Because here's the problem. They're literally right next door. So who should pay more? Who should be more invested into protecting Ukraine? Because if Ukraine falls, what's to stop them to pouring over into yours and invading your land? Why won't they do anything about it? I'll tell you why. They're afraid. What are they afraid of? They're afraid of Russia because Russia is supplying Europe with a lot of their energy as well. Yeah. So what if we become the powerhouse for energy to where Russia don't matter no more? Boo, you ain't got to be a slave to that mean guy. You ain't got to buy from the bully. You got a new sheriff in town, and our products is actually cleaner, better, and you ain't got to deal with a bully because we're already your friend. And we can charge you less than what they're doing. If you're willing to cancel your contracts with them and come over here to buy it from us, we have more oil than them. So come buy our oil. And yes, we will become rich, but guess what? You're going to be saving money on your oil and you ain't got to kiss that enemy's behind. So now you can literally stand up for yourself to this bully because now you ain't subject to the bully. Remember what I said, the Bible is not a lie. It said the servant is slave to the lender. Europe ain't trying to get involved because they are kissing the butt cheeks of Russia. But if they had a different source to buy their stuff from other than their enemy called Russia, you think they ain't gonna start getting some balls and saying, wait a minute, now, guess what, boo? We don't need you either. What happens to Russia and our enemy countries? They lose power because they're losing contracts as well. So this is how it can benefit. It all started with the United States making bad choices. I'm just a black guy with a baseball hat. I am not into politics, and I clearly seen that myself. We messed up bad. And if nothing happens, so all you people who are saying, no, don't start no terrorists and this and that, it's because you don't really see the bigger picture. You really don't understand what's really going on. The world will become back into peace because these enemy countries, China, we're going to cut you off. Russia, we don't need you. We got our own stuff, and we're going to bundle up with the NATO nations. We're going to start buying and selling betwixt each other. And even if you cut off the petrodollar, you want to cut our printer off? We already got other rent incomes coming in now. Because guess what? Now we got the European nations, they're buying our oil. Does that even require this printer? No. So y'all want to come up with this BRICS thing? Guess what? Y'all won't be sharing amongst your broke selves because we ain't buying nothing from y'all. And we got the other countries who are friendly. They're buying from us. So guess what? Anything you shipped over here, we got income. We're the landlord. Pay us. Come over here, buy our oil. Guess what? Now we just became wealthy overnight without ever doing what? Touching the printer, which is the very thing they're trying to attack to make us go out of business. Kiss my behind. We don't need you. So tariffs is necessary to bring balance and order. Ta-da! Anyway, I done held you guys so long. I am so sorry, guys. But if this, do you think this was helpful?
Oh, absolutely. Because a lot of people, they don't grasp the idea of what's really going on. I mean,
Of course not.
Without getting into detail and everything, they're naive voters.
I know that. And they're counting on that. This is why I told my brother, I said, before you yap your mouth again, because they making you look stupid. Because they know they're telling you half the story, but they ain't telling you nowhere near the other half of the story. And the truth is, I'm not trying to be funny, but I was the same way because I was listening to whatever if you're a Republican, you're typically going to watch Fox News. If you're a Democrat, you're typically going to watch CNN. That's your two sources of news. And they're heavily leaning towards one gang or the other. Remember, Crips and Bloods, Reds and Blue, Republican, Democrats. It's still a gang war. So depending on your affiliation with your gang, it's the station you're going to get your news from. So if you're a Republican, you're going to typically watch Fox News. If you're a Democrat, you're typically going to watch CNN. That's the way it works. And they're going to tell you what you need to hear to make you stay with the gang. Neither one is going to tell you the 100% truth. In fact, when I actually like watching news. In fact, here's what I do. If there's a Republican in office, I prefer to watch CNN News because they don't spill the real beans because they want you to like them better. So they really tell the truth then because they want you to know here's all the bad stuff you need to know. So the next time you go voting, here's what the dirt. And then they tell the truth because it's against their enemy. If a Democrat is in office, you want to watch Fox News, because Fox is now going to sit there and tell you the truth about what's really going on. So you actually have to watch the opposite TV station to get the actual facts of the real thing. But if you're a Republican and you're watching Fox News, they're only going to tell you what Republican news needs to hear to keep their constituents. If you're a Democrat, you're watching CNN, they're only going to tell you half the story. Thank God for us who trade in the markets because we had the benefit of bypassing all that garbage and looking at the data for what it is ourselves. So we're not duped into stupidity, running up and down the streets looking like a freaking fool with a sign on your head, talking about I'm voting for blah, 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 and they're lying to you, telling you half the story.
Yep.
One thing Carrot Top did say, which was so funny, it was hilarious. Carrot Top was funny. I don't like all his stuff, his antics. I'm really not, I ain't no Trump fan, so don't come at me. But Top was funny. He said this. They was talking about Hillary Clinton brought up that point. Yeah, you ain't paying your taxes and this and that, and you're cheating and you're using the tax laws. He said, well, why didn't you change it? You've been in business, you've been in politics for 30 years. Why didn't you do nothing about it? He said, I'll tell you why. Because you and your donors, y'all taking advantage of the same tax laws. She ain't saying nothing about it. She hushed up. Nobody paid attention to that. Why? Because it was true. So they got you going out looking crazy, talking about fair share, but not realizing that the very people you voted for are taking advantage of the same tax laws behind the scenes. They just never tell you this on the stage. And this is why for us, we have to do our own homework before we go out there yapping. Because we end up looking like idiots and we get nothing out of it because they go to their little offices and now you voted them in. They got a guaranteed check and they got power and access to information and all this kind of stuff. And you ain't gonna see them for another 3.5 years until they need you to vote them again. And they come around your neighborhood like y'all the best of friends. Man, y'all not playing me. I got a family to take care of. So if you're gonna match up with the information I can see for myself, the CPI reports and the different things that we here in this group can see, if you telling me and it'll lines up with that, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You telling the truth, let's roll. But if you're gonna keep lying to our detriment, and I ain't with that. I ain't rocking with you. It's just as simple. So anyway, let me let y'all go. I'm gonna go hang out with Nancy, take a break. Guys, type a 50 in the box if this was a bit helpful. I know we stayed behind a bit, but if this was helpful, just type a 50 in the box.
Yes, sir, it was. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. This is what I told you guys. I really want to get into podcasting. I think I'll be really, really good at that. I think I really would. All right, cool. All right.